Borgeas. Thank you, Mr. President. You're doing a fine job today, I might add. Colleagues, this is certainly a difficult issue. But if we were to go back in time when we were going through the first year of COVID, and certainly into the second, we were trying to figure out what we were going to do in terms of vaccine policy. I consulted with my family doctor, I consulted with my family and friends. And I personally believe that the vaccines were the best path forward for me and my family, and specifically my two young boys, aged 10 and 8. This bill, I believe, is going to have many unintended consequences. The first of which, what is the role of a parent? And what is the legal age of majority? What does that mean? Because as we've heard before, that you can be 12 years old to get certain medical treatment, but you'll have to be a different age to vote or serve in the military, and yet another age to buy alcohol or smoke cigarettes. Somewhere between 12 and 21 is the age of majority in California. We just can't figure out which one we want and which one's most applicable. But for this particular bill, my concern is that we heard in judiciary people call in, and we also heard from our esteemed physician, also a member of this body, that this is going to make life easier because a lot of times these individuals, these children, can't get parental permission because maybe the parents work outside the area, or they're busy, or it's a single mom working 2 jobs. That entire scenario can be resolved administratively by having a sign-off program that authorizes the parent to still make the decision in the best interest of the child, and the child be given access to the vaccine. So let's not kid ourselves that this is the only way forward on this issue. Parental consent can be given, and it can be expedited in an administrative fashion. But I haven't heard us talk too much about that. I've also heard that this issue is about following existing legislation. Well, if that is the rationale, it's hard not to imagine that existing legislation wasn't deliberately put into effect for the very purpose of opening the door for subsequent legislation. So I have an absolutely hard time trying to reconcile this, because if we continue down this path, I imagine a year from now or 2 years from now, this same issue of 12-year-old consent will somehow find its way into clinical trials. Right now, it has to be FDA approved. But in 2 years from now, it's only a matter of time before certain pharmaceutical powers and interests wanting to build up a body of scholarship in a certain area are going to want to make certain that clinical trials can be achieved by the consenting principal who happens to be 12 years old. As a parent, this is deeply troubling to me, and as a parent who believes in vaccines, I don't think this is the right path forward, because I think you can achieve the majority of what your constituents in call-ins and colleagues have said. This can be done administratively. And I don't think we've spent enough time on that issue. And so I guess I will conclude with this, colleagues, that for those of you who are parents or have legal guardianship over children, you have certain responsibilities. You are expected to oversee and take agency of that minor. This law and the entire cadre of associated laws that are making legal consent the age 12 is doing away with all of that. So as a parent, you have full legal responsibility, but you have no parental authority. This is a dangerous path forward, and as parents or those who are grandparents in this room, I think you should look upon this on a personal level, what the implications of this will mean today, but tomorrow and the years to come.